Because this thing's a speaker too.
Oh, I didn't know that, dude.
Yeah,
you talking about the computer's a speaker? Or
no, the mic is also a speaker, which it's not supposed to be. So when you're using it as a mic, it's kicking it back so many times because it's trying to process the sound through the microphone into the computer, back into the microphone, back out. And it's just a never-ending loop. We'll try it like this.
Okay.
Shit balls.
You just gotta play with it some more, dog.
Dude, it just takes a little tweaking. What is up, guys, and welcome back to the Road to Redemption podcast. We are back in the lab with Johnny Boy, Johnny Barnacle, Johnny Bananas, a.k.a. Nemo Ducks. Johnny Barnacle is in the house. What's up, bud?
What's up, man? Thanks for having me.
Always. The people love you because, I don't know if I told you this or not, analytically, you and I still hold the best episode.
Well,
I
that's
think
awesome.
Our episode has the most listens of any of all of them.
So kind of the same thing on the VNC Retrievers Training podcast, the podcast that you helped me with to submit to iTunes. Mm-hmm. That's got the most views, the most listens as well.
I was looking at your numbers the other day because, I can see it in the back of the host thing. You're on a come up right now.
Man, I hope
You're on
so.
a hot streak.
I really hope so. And it seems like the hunting community is not. I don't think they've caught on to the podcasting yet. I've got Podcast Addict on my phone, just to kind of explore I don't know. It's easier for me to search stuff through there, because you can kind of categorize your stuff into like specifically not just sports and recreation, but hunting and stuff like that. There's not that many hunting podcasts out there. It's not, but I'm kind of excited because I'm the top 100 podcast right now. I'm a guest on the top 100. That's awesome.
Oh, yeah, thank you so much.
I've been telling Nikki about that all day. I was like, about to be a star.
Feels crazy. And I looked at it the other day and I saw that we were sitting at like 87. And my favorite podcast with my favorite comedian was only 3 spots ahead of me, Bill Burrs, and I was like, damn.
That's crazy.
So
dude.
All I can say leading with that is thank you. Thank you to everybody that listens to this podcast. Thank you for everybody that checks out Johnny Boy's podcast. We definitely appreciate it.
And I was saying too, I was telling you outside earlier, you guys, I knew Cam when he used to laugh at Instagram. Thought it was for little girls. That's what he did. Little girls trying to show off.
Yeah.
And we laughed at him. Me and a couple of people laughed at him. And he started putting in work. We actually had remember that little Road to 500?
Yeah.
We had a Road to 500 followers.
Yeah, it was you and I.
Cam beat me out by like a long shot. But, that
was the first time I even picked Instagram up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about it.
But, and we kind of laughed at him. But Cameron's he's kind of like the picture of what hard work and dedication to a specific thing will get you. And, being in the top 100, I know I was excited for him. I know he was excited. But, I mean, he's been on that hustle. He's grinded every day.
For a couple of years.
And it's shown, dude. Congratulations.
I appreciate that, brother. And you're coming up, right? You're right there with me because your stuff is looking solid. So, to kick off the episode, I got to tell you about this dream that I had. And I'm going to see if you can interpret it at all.
Okay.
So how you play into it is, when I fell into the dream that I was having, I knew that somebody was coming after me. It was like the FBI, something big was coming after me, and I didn't know why, but I could feel it that they were coming. So I had like this emergency bag packed. I start putting all my guns on, and I'm about to head out the door. The scene plays out to Nicole finding out that the police are after me. And somebody, I think it was your mom, delivered her like a message at work that said, get back to the house and call Jonathan. But I have no idea why.
Dude, it's kind of creepy because last week, I think, I watched, have you seen Snowden?
No, I haven't yet.
Good movie.
We want to.
Super good movie, but yeah, they're after him at one point. And I've been thinking about that too. There's how the 3-letter agencies keep dibs on it, and Nikki doesn't even know that. Like, she's like oblivious to it. I was like, Nikki, if I
to all the stuff that's going on.
Yeah, if I sent you a message right now, Nikki, that said Trump, that would flag something somewhere.
100%.
And they would be able to read our messages. She doesn't believe. I had to show her that, stuff happens. But yeah, it's funny because I just watched a movie and I had a similar dream of being like chased by like a 3-letter shadowy organization. I'm like, what did I even do? I didn't even do anything.
That was my thing. Is what do you think we're being chased for? What did we do?
Scary.
Yeah.
You know, being chased just for
They-
illegal, what was it, LimeWire, FrostWire back in the day?
Yeah, and how bad they could trump just that up on you. But I was thinking about it, and I was like, wow. I actually got nervous. I don't remember what episode it was, but I posted it, and I was talking a lot of politics, and I was trying to really open a situation up, and after I posted that, I was like, fuck, I don't know if I should have done that. So I started getting a little nervous. I think that's where the essence of the dream came from. But that's assuming that I know anything, which I absolutely don't. But I thought it was interesting.
Cool.
The only instruction I gave Nicole was call Jonathan.
Call Jonathan. Well,
get back to the house and call Jonathan.
There we go. Well, I am pretty close, and if you ever need anything, let me know. I'll help you out. So.
So let's hear it, buddy. Which one do you want to go to?
Well, I mean, we're kind of talking about. We're talking about not really so much, but I'd say the first one.
We have a problem with too many laws and not law enforcement. So where my head was going on that is, if you see, it seems like more and more now, we talked about it last time, police are always in the limelight. Somebody's shooting somebody, knocking a kid out while he's sitting on the curb. Like, there's a lot of these bad videos out there right now. And I was looking at it, and I'm still I'm saying I support law enforcement, absolutely I do. What really needs to be done? Do you have to vet police officers more? Do you have to have less police officers? And I was like, okay, if you vetted them harder, you would have less. What would be the drawback to having less law enforcement? Crime rate would spread, right?
Yeah.
But then I looked, okay, so what are crimes that absolutely need to be stopped? Murder. But,
I thought I heard something.
That's good. What were we talking about?
You're talking about you just finished up your dad in the middle of the night, got pulled over, and I said that Michael's got alcohol in it, stuff like that, and decongest.
Which one do you want to go on to next?
I mean, whatever, dude.
Let's go to, well, we're already on it. I'll transition into it. And the other biggest part is that with things like marijuana now, it's illegal in most states. Well, I should reverse that. It's medicinally.
Medicinally, yeah.
You still can't. Most people are not allowed to have it with them in most other states. But now CBD is completely legal.
Yes.
And
all 50 states.
Yes, and you can. I have CBD in my home. If YouTube is watching, they can see it, and it looks the same as marijuana.
Yeah.
It smells the same when burnt. It does everything the same, except you don't get a psychoactive effect from it. And I asked one of my police officer buddies, and I said, so how do you guys decipher? What makes you pull him over if he's driving down the street smoking this?
Yeah.
Which, I'm a CBD advocate. I still don't say you should do that. Only because, and we're going to transition here a little bit, CBD has no psychoactive effect. It's not going to make you high.
Yeah.
A point that I made, or something that I pointed out and I put it on Twitter was, it may not give you the psychoactive effect of marijuana, but would it not be considered euphoria of some type if you're constantly living with anxiety, constantly living with chronic pain and stuff like that? You smoke CBD, and now that's relieved. I truly think that would be a sincere form of euphoria.
Yeah.
So it may alter your judgment a little bit. So it's probably best that you do that within the confines of your home. And that's really the only thing I was...
And, and you may not feel anything. Like, you may not feel the high effect, but what you kind of got to look at, too, I think, is, well, what's your reaction time? Does it slow your reaction time any?
Yeah.
Like if
because
a kid ran out, if a kid ran out in front of you, are you going to be able to stop like that, or are you going to just run the kid over because you're slow? And I totally agree. I think you should treat it just like I don't know, CBD. I don't know. I feel like you should treat legit, straight up marijuana like alcohol. Same laws.
Yep.
CBD though.
I think it is like it is now.
Yeah.
You just leave it alone.
Yeah. Don't mess with it.
I think you know yourself, so like I personally know that I use the product to relax, de-stress, whatever. If I absolutely had to, like my dad did, he had to jump in the car and take off. Could I do that? Yes, I could.
Yeah.
Because my body would alter.
Yeah.
I would now be having adrenaline, stuff like that. My body
Yeah, all
would
that
change.
stuff would get replaced.
But
with
I'm
adrenaline.
still not intoxicated.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of the fine line where if as long as people just use good judgment with it, I think it's all going to be okay.
Man, I tell you what, I still don't understand, and I know deep down it's got to deal with money, taxation, good old boy, the stigma and stuff like that. However, though, how are you going to sit there? We're not going to talk about alcohol. Screw alcohol. Forget it. Let's talk about actual growing stuff. Sit there, which granted in Dover, so 10 years ago in Dover or in Indiana, Stewart County, you just saw 9 out of 10 farms tobacco. Now, though, they've been bought out for corn and soybeans, stuff like that. However, you still see tobacco fields. There's tobacco fields all over the South and I guess other places too. How are you going to sit there and allow people to grow tobacco? That is known. I can name you every organ system in your body tobacco affects in a negative way.
Yeah.
You can sit there and let them grow tobacco.
But
it may not kill you in a day, but it's going to kill you in 20, 30 years from now.
Eventually.
It'll eventually get you. It'll clog your arteries up. It'll give you cancer or something. You're going to sit there and let that, but you can't let somebody grow marijuana.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense.
Especially when marijuana has so many different uses. It's like one of the strongest fabrics when made into a fabric, like hemp.
Yeah.
Is one of the strongest fabrics.
Yeah, Dad's got a few hemp-based flip-flops.
Yeah.
That he's had for like years.
Yeah, it's insane. So that I think that again the awakening's there and we're getting there. I just think the biggest problem is when given an inch, we need to not take a mile as people.
Yeah.
If they legalize
Playing
marijuana,
chess, man.
Yeah. If they legalize marijuana, guys, be cool.
Yeah.
Don't go out driving and doing dumb shit. And don't, just be responsible with it and let's not turn it into alcohol. Because that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, because alcohol's not a bad stigma.
No, yeah, but alcohol probably started as use it. It makes you feel better. There's even some medical advantages to small amounts. But then what do people do? They want more, they want more, they want more. Now you're eased a little too much. You go out in public, you hurt somebody.
Yep.
Now there's a stigma because somebody's family got hurt.
You ruin it for everybody.
Yeah, and that's where somebody like me, I know that I don't have that off switch. If I drink one thing of alcohol, I'm going to drink 38 of them, and then I'm not going to give a shit, and I'm going to go drive.
Yeah.
So I don't do it anymore.
Well, and I was telling you out there too, as far as kind of getting back to the CBD thing, guys, you got to be if you're a CBD user. I'm not trying to get into sponsorships, but this company that Cam is got some dealings with, the Forest Hemp Co. He's let me try some of that. I feel a difference now. I was telling him though, CBD. I asked him, CBD I don't think is officially regulated by the FDA, so I don't think they go through federal drug testing as far as you got to have this much CBD. So like me, I got some locally grown CBD stuff or made CBD, and didn't feel a thing.
Yeah.
Not a
There's different
thing.
levels to it.
And I was at like a medium low dose level, but still I feel like I don't drink a lot, I don't take a lot of meds, so I feel like I would get a little something. No, nothing. With this, but so then I get a higher quality stuff or a reputable company, and it's better. So guys, if you're a CBD user, do your research. You don't have to do a specific brand, but just make sure you get a reputable brand because. Don't just go off the freaking street like I did, pretty much.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is it's such a new industry. You're gonna have your turds that come in and sell lesser than quality stuff. But then you got the guys who are established. They've been in it for a while. That's what I always say. So Forest Hemp Co., I think it says a lot about them that the first thing they ask you to do is try a free sample.
Yeah.
They're not asking you to buy shit. They're saying, here, I'm gonna give you this one for free. We've got them right here. I don't know if you want another one or not. We've got one of the edibles, and okay, so you try it. You find out it works. This is good stuff. This isn't just a shithole company selling canola oil with a weird smell to it. Like, I think that that's a lot going on out there. There's a lot of people, but you have the extremes on the other side too. You have people that are probably selling marijuana as CBD.
Yeah.
So you're probably having
that.
You're having both. Just try it, but just use your own brain.
I saw you had a couple of people comment on your Instagram that had said something about it worked for them, or they're glad they discovered.
And I've heard
CBD
people that
like
says it does nothing for them.
Yeah.
So even to the people that if it's done nothing for you, maybe try another company. There's a lot of people that I know are looking for different things, and when it comes to CBD, it's the same as marijuana. The strand that you get, or the strand that it was derived from, really makes a difference. If you get a sativa strand, you're going to be more energetic. Or if you get an indica brand or strand, you're going to be more relaxed, chill,
mellow. Yeah.
So there's healing in all forms. You just have to know what works for you. You have to. You just have to do your research. That's it. That's the most long and drawn out way I can say to do your daggone research. But I can tell you, Forest Temco works. Their edibles work. Their pens work. Mine just died because I was smoking it while we were sitting here talking. I think Johnny Boy can attest that.
I am. It's a whole lot better than the company I used.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm definitely feeling more relaxed, and it's not going to stone you out. It's just it's going to take some. Take some bricks off your shoulders if you got some bricks.
For sure, yeah. It's, when you said that outside, that's the best way I've ever heard
it
described.
And I don't. When I got into CBD, the main thing was getting me through a stressful day, and I got to where I was taking. I'm kind of like you in the sense of medicine. I take one prescription pill a day, but as far as Tylenol, ibuprofen, I try to hold out. I try to drink water. Maybe get some caffeine in me, something to relieve a headache before I go to the medicine. But I got to where I was taking like a lot of Tylenol, some ibuprofen. I was like, all right, let me try CBD. Yeah. And that first one, didn't work out for me. I'm sorry.
Well, and here's the other thing that I wanted to touch on when it comes to CBD. I got a little disappointed with myself the other day because I was about to go somewhere, and my immediate reaction was to go roll up a CBD blunt real quick. And I was like, damn, like this is where I'm at now, where I've got to do it just to go out into public. But then I realized the difference is when I do it and go out into public, I'm not intoxicated like I was when I used to have to drink to go out. My anxiety is gone. It's relieved. So all I really did was medicate.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
But I didn't like, wow, I need this just to feel normal. It's like, but anxiety is making you feel not normal.
People take Xanax and Valium and stuff all the time to go out in public.
Yeah, and that's how I was like, wow, okay. So I guess it was a come as you are kind of moment for me. Is I was like, it's okay to not be perfect in every situation and to need something.
Yeah, everybody's got their, case in point.
Mine is eating in public and getting my hair cut. I don't know why.
Oh, I love to get my hair cut.
You do?
Thing, yeah.
Dude, I will lose my shit in a chair.
I go to a local barber, and it's kind of like an old school kind of deal, and I just like listening to the old folks chat. Like the old people that go in there and get there, I just like listening to see what they have to like. Am I going to be like this when if I make it to 67 years old, am I going to be like this?
Yeah, I don't know if it's the thing around my neck or how close they are to your face.
Now, some of those, they'll
because I just go to Sports Clips.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, and I know they want you to buy the shampoo upgrade and stuff. Like, all this stuff is just going through my mind, and I'm like, I don't want to be here.
Have you got the MVP yet?
Yeah.
MVP on ice, I've heard that on ESPN radio in the morning.
I haven't done the on ice one. I've done the hot one with the towel.
Is it good?
It's nice, yeah. But again, it's nice if I smoke my CBD and then go. It's the best. But if I don't and then I go in there and I think I'm having a panic attack.
Gotcha.
It's pretty miserable. Let's talk about Charlemagne. I know it's a big
here
one.
We go. Let's do it. But yeah, I'm gonna tell him no. I'm gonna give him some some discipline, because I'm not his best friend. I'm his dad, and like you have a. I think most parents though just want to be there. They don't want to piss their kids off, and this is.
They don't want to piss them off because they don't want to hear them.
That and case in point, like in kind of our situation, not single dads, but dads separated families. You have a lot of parents, quote unquote, trying to bribe their other kid.
Yeah, you get that a lot.
To want to stay over there more. Yeah. Versus, and that's a big problem. Like, I sometimes feel like Allie will eventually, I feel like I discipline Allie more than my ex does.
So she'll want to stay with her more.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm pretty strict on, I'm strict on my kids, and I'm
not speaking to Allie's mom, but I know in my own personal situation, when my daughter talks to me, and I don't know if this is what's happening, I know that there's enough talk about me when I'm not on the phone or when I'm not around that's on purpose to manipulate the way my daughter sees me.
Gotcha.
Because when we're on the phone, or when her and I are together, it's daddy this, daddy that. When we're on the FaceTime and her mother's close, she looks up, looks back at me, and calls me Cam.
Oh,
because she knows she's supposed to.
Yeah.
Right? And that's the stuff that really... Now, that has since started to work itself out. Every time it happens, I correct Taya, and then I send a message to her mom and go, I don't appreciate that. I'm acknowledging the fact that she looked at you to check for clearance, didn't get it, so called me by my government name. I don't appreciate it, and I'm not going to stand for it.
Yeah.
But I can't... I may be able to control that, right? So now... Her mom works, she doesn't make her call me Cam anymore.
Yeah,
but
that's good.
It's been ingrained for so long, occasionally she does, but I can see the difference that something changed. I also can't control what's said about me when I'm not there.
That's true, yeah.
So, and I know that that's happening. I know that people talk badly about me in those circles. I had always just hoped that when I made the split, she would at least be mature enough to know that that's the worst thing you could do to a kid.
Oh, yeah. And I think I'm blessed on that part because I don't think that's going on over there. Nikki and I have a pretty when Allie comes over the house, if Allie wants to tell me about something that happened over her mom's, like they went to the water park or they went swimming or something like that.
But you don't interrogate her.
I don't care. Yeah, I don't interrogate her.
Yeah.
And for the most part, we don't have any problems. But yeah, it sometimes seems like it's been like a competition. Like Nikki gets upset because, my ex's family's kind of well off, per se.
Yeah.
So they can take like 4 or 5 trips a year.
Yeah, that's how mine is.
We kind of don't. We take about maybe 1 trip a year. Like our trip this year was 2.5 hours to Chattanooga.
Yeah, that was
we didn't go to Disneyland. We
Right.
didn't go on a cruise. And Nikki kind of feels bad. So she's like, man, I wish we could take the kids here. And I'm like, no. I think that like Allie and Jackson, I think they had just as good a time in the mountains than they did on a cruise,
Right. Most of the time, stuff like that's really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Well, and that was the other thing. A tall tale sign of what's being said about you when you're not there is going to come from the grandparent. It would be Allie's grandma and grandpa on that side.
Okay. Yeah.
That's where you're going to really find out because old people, they just want to talk about shit.
Yeah.
And that's what they'll say around their grandparents is what's really being
funneled
through the entire system as a whole.
Got you.
I've seen that a lot, especially when they're well off.
Okay. Well,
Because
I'll look into that. I'll look out for that pretty much. Cause,
yeah.
like I said, Allie doesn't really
good,
talk Allie doesn't say anything like that. But
that's good. She's older too. You can talk to her. You can have an honest conversation with her.
Oh yeah, she's super smart for her age.
Very helpful because that's the hard thing when they're like 2. You can't. You can't tell them, hey, I just want you to know. I know what's being said about me, but I love you more than anything in this world. I just can't be there every day.
Yeah.
You can't have that conversation. Yeah. But, and especially, at what age do you tell them, hey, I had to do this?
I was talking to my wife about this. There's going to come a time when...
you have to tell the truth.
Yep. When Allie's going to ask me, why aren't you and Mama together?
Yeah.
Or when Jackson asked Nikki, why aren't you and Daddy together? And
you can't.
I'm just gonna be honest with them. I'm gonna be honest to where I don't badmouth because I'm gonna tell you this. My ex is a good mom. She's a great mom. Allie doesn't want for anything. But I'm not gonna talk bad. But I'm gonna tell her the truth.
Yeah, it's not gonna be all peaches and cream.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, a lot of the it just didn't work out. I think at some point you have to have a conversation with your kids and go, look, this is why it didn't work out.
Yep.
At the time, you have to take full responsibility for the part you played, and then you can tell your perspective on the other person, but then your child has the same right to know from the other way.
Yep.
And then they can put it all together.
Yeah, they form the...
And that's how it should always be.
It has not happened yet, so hopefully...
No, and I don't think mine will ever happen. In that regard, I don't think we're ever going to come to that place of maturity. But it'd be nice. I think Taya will just get old enough to see what's going on.
Oh yeah, kids are smart.
We told the dream. Life is not a movie, but it can be. Act accordingly. A director writes every character's next move. So I don't know if you were like this at all. When I was a kid, I would do things because I thought, that's what they do in the movies. they do that in the movie, so I should be able to do that. I should, like in bad instances, you see people going out, partying, drinking, doing all this, and then waking up hungover as hell to their best friend working with them in an office.
Yeah.
And that's their life, you know? They're just wild, crazy kids. And I'm like, well, they can do that. I should be able to do that.
Yeah.
But so I acted accordingly. I was like, this is what the cool people in the movies do.
Yes.
That's only one example. But then I realized that's a character that's being written.
Yes.
They're writing him to survive the next day. They're not writing him to continue this for 8 years and then almost kill himself. They're writing a character for you to be entertained. It's not a way to base your life off of. So I looked and I was trying to find, like, what other areas of my life do I do that in? I know I do it in style.
Yeah.
I know how I dress, you know.
Nikki calls me a follower.
I get called a follower a lot, too.
She says I'll follow, like, if, I think she actually called me a follower when I started doing a podcast, because she's like, oh, you're trying to be like Cam now. And I'm like,
no, it's just something that
what's
people
the
do.
difference between a follower and versus just being influenced by somebody?
Yeah,
and
there's nothing wrong with being influenced by anybody.
So, yeah, I've had to struggle with that, but like you said, though, there's been, like, style, dressing, yes.
Foods we eat, the diets we go on, the workout regimens we take on.
So, I've got this weird, it's not really about movies, it's more like if you put me in, like, I realized this when I went to, like, visited family in Florida for, like, a week, and I've noticed that I do this if I hang out with certain people for more than, like, a few days. It's like I kind of adapt, and I pick up their personality.
Yeah.
So I was down in Florida. First 2 days I was me, wearing my Bass Pro Shop shirt and my shorts. By like the third or fourth day, I busted out some collared shirts and some boat shoes.
Just because you can appreciate the culture.
Yep, and I was in the Miami culture, or the yachtsman culture.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all.
That was pretty cool.
So
but
you and
yeah,
I are very similar like that.
And you see it in the movies too, though.
Yeah.
I've picked up, attitudes and stuff like that, especially...
I have a real hard time with comedians. When I hear a comedian and he talks like... The way that Bill Burr talks, I find myself doing it.
Gotcha, yeah.
Because I love it so much. I think it's so funny that I want it to be funny when I say it outside, but it doesn't come off the same because I'm not him. It's not original. But I realize it's like, wow, we allow ourselves to be influenced by such silly things, either by someone who's being true to their genuine self, which would cause you to not be. So you're acting like them.
Yeah, okay.
You're acting like someone who's already existing, so you can't do that. And then on top of it, you find that's not even what you really care about. It's just something you enjoy.
Yep.
And also, it can't be sustainable for you. So, like in the instance that I was saying before, you can watch Superbad where they're going out getting jacked up and drunk and all this stuff. But Jonah Hill's character was written in that movie to survive, not become a raging alcoholic by 25 and ruin his entire life. He has an ending to his script where if you don't want to have an ending to your script, you can't.
No,
like
because
you can't be those people.
I asked Nikki a deep question the other day, but I'm not going to get into it, but it got into, though, having free will.
Yeah.
And like I said, you kind of write your own story per se. But what kind of person do you want to be? Do you want to be a person that, like you said, just kind of follows the vibe? You're following the crowd, or do you want to write your own story? But I was arguing with Nikki though that on a planet with like over 6 billion people, it's hard to be unique anymore because it feels like somebody's already done it, or somebody's already that quote-unquote character, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, 100%.
And especially with social media. I can name 5 people off the top of my list, or off the top of my head, that are in the same category as me as far as hunting and fishing or dog training, and everybody kind of acts the same.
Yeah, well, it's an industry. You do fall into an industry, and I think that's always been my problem, is I don't hold myself to one industry. I don't want to because I have so many different things that I love. I don't want to just be the 2A guy with the big long beard, and that's cool. I enjoy that part of myself. But come July, the beard gets hot, and I don't have the money to go shooting like that all the time. So, but I can always go to the gym. So then you shave the beard off, go to the gym, but now you changed industries. No, I didn't. I'm still just me.
Still camp, yeah.
Yeah, but that's the thing. If you fall out of the gun industry like I did, now I'm just the fitness guy.
Yeah.
So then when I find something like podcasting that I love, now I've already been the 2A guy and the fitness guy. Now I'm the podcast guy. People are like, he's all over the place. He doesn't know what he's doing. I think that's called evolving.
Yes.
I think because
totally.
I still love to go out and shoot.
Mm-hmm.
I still go to the gym every day. But I don't almost every day. I haven't gotten the last 2, but you guys didn't hear that. But people go, well, this guy's either a poser or he's a follower or whatever. It's like, I'm allowed to be influenced by things and evolve forward.
Yeah.
I don't need your permission for that.
Exactly. Like, I'm a big time hunter, but like, duck season is only 60 days. The main season is only 60 days out of the year.
Part of your life.
I got 300 days to do something else. And I mean,
I want to go with you this year.
Let's do it. We're a month away from like our early season. Yeah.
Will you go to Walmart and get that?
Yeah. Before you do it though, I'll go with you because they'll try to sell you some stuff that you don't need.
Okay. I'm serious. I want to go this year.
All right, let's do it. But
I got a shotgun. My father-in-law gave me one of his shotguns. Yeah.
Just make sure you have. Okay. So like, if you got about 29, 30 episodes, the Road to Redemption podcast up?
This is number 30.
Okay, so number 30. So, now I stay pretty in tune. Like, as soon as you release them, I probably listen to it within 2 hours of you putting it out, depending on where I'm at.
That.
Yeah, but, so let's say I'm at work one day, though, and I'm bored.
Yeah.
I'm going to scroll through the 1,000 episodes of Joe Rogan, you know?
Yeah.
Because he's just done it for so long.
He's got such a library.
Billions of it. Like, I'm sure you could find like little sound clips. They do those, the best of the week kind of deal.
I never watch those.
I don't either, but I know they're there.
I watched the whole episode, so I don't. I like the tunes when he does the tunes and stuff.
I don't really pay attention to the MMA fights.
I don't
either because I don't really know crap about MMA. So
and I don't have any interest in it. But yeah, and I find too that with podcasts, I have different podcasts that I want to listen to at different times of my day. So Joe Rogan I can listen to and from like work. I don't mind listening to him in the car because it's just like having somebody to talk to in the car. But Bill Burr, I want to listen to his because his is more funny. I want to listen to his after I've smoked my CBD, about to get in the shower. I turn his podcast on while I'm in the shower because I can laugh and enjoy it and just relax.
Gotcha, yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think it's important. That's why it's going to be so big. I think it's still so new because all these different podcasts are opening up, and you could really explore any industry, anything you want through a podcast. You just have to search which road you want to go down.
Yep. And
you can learn as much stuff as you want.
And I think the thing that's going to be a big kind of player, it seems like, could be wrong, I could be like not even looking in the right place, I think I am, but it seems like all these, the hunting podcasts on my end of it, their production per se is maybe, if it's what I call on par, is 1 week. But there's some on there that haven't been updated in 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm just like, okay, so did you try it? You didn't like it?
Probably.
Like, what happened here?
Yeah.
And I think that's what I'm trying to set apart, is just to be consistent, 2 a week, and just keep on, grinding it out, and hopefully it catches, and...
I love the 2 a week method, only because, or every 3 days, not even 2 a week, I do every 3 days because that gives people enough time to listen to it. Within 3 days, you know how many people are actually engaging with it, and then right about the time they've started to maybe put what you said in the last episode into practice and stuff like that, now there's a new one coming.
Dude, I totally, I experimented with something and it didn't catch. I don't know if you saw it. It was a Saturday morning podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Just raw, no fancy music.
I liked it.
I got three listens on it. So you're one of them. I'm probably the other one. And maybe Nikki listened to it on the way. But I was like, dang, I figured people would like the raw, unfiltered, just talking kind of deal.
I liked it. But there is some entertainment value to it. So there's a podcast called Podcast That Puts You to Sleep. And it's literally this guy, he just talks. And it's so mundane, and it's so... Nicole hated it. Because he has 0 point. He's not telling a story. He's just talking about anything. And he'll go any direction with it. Nicole's like, I couldn't stand it. It drove me up the wall. But that's what this guy does. Is he's just a sound in the background.
That's funny. That's awesome. It's
yeah,
smart.
It's really, really smart. But you see that there's a market. So there's people like me. I would dig the shit out of it, but Nicole hated it.
Talking about movies though, real quick. I watched the same funny little aspect of it. I watch the same movie every night to put me to sleep.
Which one?
Shutter Island.
That's a weird one.
It is.
Yeah. Might be why you're not sleeping.
Yeah. But I rotate between Shutter Island and Inception.
I've got movies that I do that with, or that I've done it in the past. So when I was younger. Let's pause it. She's gonna go outside.
What's up, girl?
Don't let me forget what I was saying there.
Okay, you got movies.
Yeah, it was a movie that I don't even. I was starting to gap it anyway. You need to let me go outside a little bit. Oh, bro. Oh. So I could hear it. And one of them used to be Bruce Almighty. I would listen. Okay. I would have Bruce if I was home. I would have Bruce Almighty on. Now I'm really anything in that genre. So if it's a stand-up comedy, I'll turn the same one on 1,000 times.
Gotcha.
If it's got like the 40-Year-Old Virgin, Saving Sarah Marshall, movies like that I've seen umpteenth million times, I'll just have them on.
Yeah. It's kind of it seems like that's kind of where I stay at, like in the Netflix category, because you watched the 40-year-old version. Here's like you're listening. I'm kind of the same way. Yeah.
Mine is all stand-up comedies and like Forgetting Sarah Marshall, 40-Year-Old Virgin, stuff like that. But then I'll have some weird ones. You know, I go down the documentary hole sometimes, and most of it's about like marijuana and stuff like that. But
you know what gets me is I'll be at work and I'll be like on break or something like that, and what gets me is the videos on YouTube that case in point, top 10 photos that can't be explained. So then you watch this, it's got creepy music in the background, you let it, and then right below it is top 10 places in the world you can't visit. So then you watch that, and then like I go into a dark hole when it comes to those. Like I've learned more about, I didn't even know what the dark web was.
Yeah, it gets pretty dark.
Until I watched an episode of it, and I'm like, what the shit is the dark web? And then there's the deep web, and I'm
sketchy.
Like, what?
There's a line. At some point, you're going to want to be careful as that.
It is insane how YouTube has took me down a rabbit hole of weird pictures and photographs.
But I think that goes back to your point where you were saying you didn't feel like people received that episode very well. I would say that if most of the time when you're coming to a podcast, you're ready to settle in, but you need to be sold on what you're settling into.
Gotcha.
So when you have the music, people know what song I'm going to play in the beginning, but now they can expect it. They can almost start singing along to it. They know when I'm going to cut it off. Mm-hmm. And then we get into the interview, and they follow along as we take the ride that we have. But in one where it's just raw, unedited, the reason I made the connection with the guy that put it to sleep, that's his purpose.
Gotcha.
So people come to him for that. So if you're going to have a Saturday morning raw unedited podcast, just keep doing it.
Gotcha.
Just do it every Saturday. It may not be your biggest hitter, but a year from now, if they know they can come to you 2 other times in the week and have a great podcast that they love, and then maybe they just come to expect that there's a lot of flash or entertainment value, but they still dig the message, it's important.
So, I don't know, the thing was I don't know about you, but we've only done it once today. But on my podcast, I have to, even though it's 15 minutes, I record like 3 or 4 times. Because I'll screw up something, and I'll bet, man, I've said too many times, or I've done this too many times. And that Saturday episode was like, alright, doing it one time, let's do it. Boop, and I hit record.
I think that's just the age of a podcaster, because I used to do that a lot. If I would find myself going, or if you could hear me smacking my lips through the mic or something like that, I was like, I don't like that. I'm going to go and cut that out. Now, dude, you just talk.
I had
Like,
an
if we have to
episode-
get up here, like we have, I think we've gotten up, 3 times during this podcast? If you have to get up, you just break, remember what you were saying, do what you got to do, and come back.
I had a podcast episode where I said etc. probably 100 times. And Nikki's like, what are you doing? And I'm like,
Why do
I
you keep
have
saying
no
that?
idea.
But it's because I honestly think it's when you put simple people in front of a microphone like we are. I think that we have I think people love what we're doing and talking, but we're not as scholastic. So if you ask me to do so many things at one time, which I'm trying to go really deep in here, I'm not going to be able to always get it out the best.
And that's kind of why again, it's kind of why Joe Rogan's a good guy, because he brings on these like super smart people.
Yeah.
Psychiatrists, sleep disorder specialists, people that are in the industry, and they can go. They're naturally his guests are naturally can go that.
They're ready for that,
Yep.
and I don't know if you listened to the last episode with my pops and I. I had him. I put a leaked.
Was that 29?
Yeah.
So I looked it up on iTunes, and I may have just not updated my iTunes. 28 was the only episode I could see.
Yeah, 29's up there now, but it was me and my dad talking. And he was saying that exact same thing. He was like, you would think that Joe Rogan is just as smart as those guys are, because in a way that he is, because he's willing to go so deep that he makes them go there.
Mm-hmm.
So you wouldn't go on his show, which is what I want for this. I want to talk to everybody and everybody. Yeah. But it's because, so they would know coming on that that's what I'm going to do.
And that's it's the same way. Like, I've got a list of people. As soon as my computer can get fixed, I've got a list of people that I want to, there's like a vet on there, a veterinarian on there that's pretty well established in the community, and then there's some like industry people I want to get onto that aren't like, they're not like the top, but they're in that middle tier industry that people still know about them, and I want to bring them on, kind of get some.
Well, that's the thing, you want to talk to the people that you look up to.
Yeah.
Which is the hardest thing when you're up and coming is, I want to sit down with Joe Rogan, I want to sit down with Bill Burr, but the reason that it would never happen to this point is if I tag Joe Rogan in almost every podcast I put up. And it's because I just want him to listen to it, see the value of it, and then I want to do the same thing to him that he does to his guest.
Yeah.
I just want to put you on and let's just talk. I don't want anything from you. I'm not trying to, yes, obviously that episode would probably go massively huge, but that's because of him. And I just want people to get more from him and Bill Burr, but they would see it as this dude's just trying to boost up his podcast by having me on, which is unfortunate, and that's a part of the thing, and I'm not speaking for them, I have no idea, they both may be willing, but it's just one of those times where you feel so inadequate that you don't even put it out to try, and I think I've done that. I've asked both of them, through Twitter, the only way I can get a hold of them, and they don't respond back, and you immediately go, it's because I'm not worth their fucking time, when really, they've got a million tweets coming in.
Yeah.
They probably didn't even see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I did that with this